Sometimes I don't know what is right. Sometimes I just want to get through the day and night. Without putting up much of a fight. Sometimes I struggle in my life. Sometimes I don't know what is right. Sometimes I just want to get through the day and night. Without putting up much of a fight. Sometimes I struggle in my life. Sometimes I don't know what is right. Sometimes I just want to get through the day and night. Without putting up much of a fight. I was just doing something that I hadn't done in a minute, and that was I have that little video. You know, that's something I recorded several weeks ago, probably because I haven't even attempted playing on that little kit in a few weeks since my arm been acting up. And also, I haven't like the last time I drew. The last time I was doing any sketching, you know, like I'm not a professional visual artist or anything, but I took up trying to see what I can do visually with a pencil or a pen here and there. But in the past couple of weeks, I have my arm in a sling right now. I didn't have it. I had it out earlier, but I decided to put it on for right now. It helps. I'm kind of like, I don't have to have it all through the day, but like sometimes it's good to just have it in the stationary position. So that's what I'm doing right now. Let's see here. And earlier I was on here, and so I think there might be a disconnect here or a maybe I gave some wrong information. But earlier I was streaming for just a little while, like maybe about an hour. I streamed for about an hour. But a friend of the channel was here, Swillbilly. He was in the chat, and we talked for a while. He was there, and then a couple people came through his stream. He streams on Twitch, and he was watching my stream while he was on. Like his stream was going on Twitch, and he was watching my stream, and then a few people came over. But my point is, he had asked on if he wanted to stream with me sometime, to get in touch more like, you know, in a private manner. So I gave him an email, but so far I haven't got anything in my email that I gave him, unless I typed it out wrong in the chat, or if he wrote it down wrong, or if when he sent an email, he accidentally, you know, if one little thing was off. And if it's bounced back to him and he hadn't seen that, then maybe he don't know yet. But like I had intended to email him back and have some more direct communication, where if he wanted to come on here at this moment. He could, and but there's somewhere or another I haven't. There's something not either coming through or I gave the wrong information. It's no big deal. Hopefully, it'll get figured out. I figured maybe he might pop in. He might happen to see that we're streaming here again and pop in. Now, I did share this. I shared this stream to X, and I shared a restream link in case anyone did want to come on. And like I saw that a little bit ago, I saw Tank Ferret had commented in the comments now or in the chat, and I appreciate that. But I also, it's like sometimes I don't know, like until you kind of get going, who's there and who's not. But earlier, Swillbilly was here, and there was a couple of people that had came in from his, like, knowing him. So there is, like, I was thinking, if Swillbilly pops in the chat, then I can share I can try to, I might have to just put a link in the chat for him. But I shared a link on X. If anybody follows me on X, like, I was thinking Ghosty or She Sees It. So I'm trying to keep my mind, I'm trying to make sure that I pay attention in case someone shows up kind of in the background. And I was explaining earlier, too, that yesterday I streamed, and I streamed earlier today. I'm trying to take the approach of just jumping in here, like just go at it, not worry too much about who's there or not there at the moment. Just once you start, just kind of roll with it. Like whether there's anybody listening at the first, it makes for better. The rewatch value would be better if I do it that way. Like if within just a minute of starting, I'm at least addressing whatever it is I need to be, or I think I want to talk about, until people start kind of like watching and listening, or if there's the potential of someone showing up to like bounce off of, like share the screen with. So hopefully the chat is working. I have ran into that problem before where, I've been streaming and see people and then like in the stream and to find out that somebody was trying to communicate and for whatever reason things weren't coming through. Me just being on the phone and stuff, things are a little bit more simplified though. And then of course we could go in a lot of times. I just don't know. Like I have no intention of how long or anything I'm going to go on. It depends on if the conversation gets going, whether there's anybody here or not. If there's someone, sometimes you have people chime in at some point. You're just kind of like doing it. I'll just be just talking out loud for anybody that might generally pop in. And every once in a while, I'll try to revert back to whatever I started with so that like, because there might be new people, like kind of refresh what the topic or at hand is. If you are watching and you are somebody that knows me through comic book and stuff, our love for comic books, I've been today. I haven't sat down and actually read anything just yet, but my next goal is to finish issue 4 of this. The next is I finished up. I read issue 3 yesterday, so I'm almost. I don't know if I'll get to this today or not because I've already streamed once. I'm streaming again, and then like depending on how long I stream, and then whatever I do after the stream. Sometimes that'll cut into like whether I'm gonna like at a certain point during the day. Sometimes I'll be like, okay, like I'm gonna call it a day. Like so I like to try to get certain amounts of things read. Like I have like kind of a goal. Hey, Emil. Okay, thanks, Emil. Yeah, if you heard me earlier, I'm kind of like in a conundrum because there was somebody like I said, somebody that's been a friend of the channel for a while, and they come by from time to time. Swillbilly was in the chat, and we were communicating, and I had no problem with having him come in and stream with me. Like towards the end, I'd already been thinking about sharing the link and letting him come in then, but I'd already started talking about possibly going for a second walk and doing all this other stuff before. Like I knew I wanted to stream and maybe potentially stream for a little while longer than I have been doing. And also the possibility of, somebody might join in at some point. And if that's the case, it could go on for a little while. So I wanted to make sure that if there was anything else that I really wanted to get done, which was basically just a second walk. And then I've already made a sandwich and ate it, and then made some fries. I finished those before I even started. So if I get to being on here for a couple hours, I should be good. And even chore wise, there's not anything that I can't, like if I don't do it today. I could sweep, but that's every day. You know what I mean? It's just a regular floor. It's not a carpet or anything. It's just, and the dude just mowed yesterday. I sweep every day, but it's one of those things right now where the first day or two after the fresh mowing, you can sweep 5 times that day, but every time you check out and come back in, it's just gonna be the same. So sometimes, I don't necessarily always, like today, like I said, if I don't sweep up some of the grass and shit today, I'm not gonna worry about it. Tomorrow's Saturday, I'll be plenty I can do tomorrow too. But I was hoping that if I came on, because I told Swillbilly I'd be interested. And there ain't, let's see, what we got here. I'm not sure. Okay. I was looking at my notifications. So, yeah, I think it works out. I think for me, I think the streams are going to be better if I'm just kind of just doing it the way I've done it since yesterday. Sometimes they go better than others, but I think the more I don't think about it, and I just kind of let it flow, whatever kind of happens. But then again, I might get on here and stream for a little while and just be by myself. And if nobody joins me, and we're at a certain point and everything, then I'll probably wrap it up. But I'm enjoying trying to get back in the groove, communicating with people, through the people. There's a certain amount of people that stop by from time to time, especially when I'm doing a stream. So, and it's nice. Oh, but if you're going to get better at it, you just got to keep doing it. So, yeah, and I got those Judge Dredd comics the other day. Some older ones and stuff. Here's one that's just happened to be out right now. Let's see. So, trying to show a little bit of comic book stuff because I know that when I share it on X. Also, if nobody knew earlier, I posted this in the community. Well, I don't think I posted it yet. But the second channel, Gray Cloud's Thoughts, has went over to. We have 101 or 102 subscribers now, so it's over 100. And so I may mention this several times during this stream, especially if somebody else new joins in, or we do have someone come in the studio. But what my goal is, I want to try to maybe between now and I don't know, what's today, Friday? Now and next Friday, maybe try to think of a day. It don't really have to be nothing spectacular, but just set up a stream on the second channel that's official, official first stream. Whatever day it is, whether it doesn't have to be any particular day, but just whatever day I pick, and give at least 24-hour advance setup. You know what I'm saying? say we want to do it tomorrow, I go ahead and set it up this afternoon, set it up for whatever time tomorrow, and put it out there, and then try to and then maybe talk to a couple of people that are, that are my friends that have streamed with me a few times, or I've been on their channels, and they do talk about comic books and stuff. Because what I'd like to do is for the second channel, the first official stream be like a stream, like a fun stream, and know ahead of time that I may have like a couple of people in the box like that want to be on there with me, and our main objective would be to discuss certain things in comic books and stuff, and maybe anything related to that, like if someone's seen a movie or a trailer just came out and we were just like, oh, did you see this or whatever. Not that we can't end up talking about whatever, because it is Gray Cloud. I want to start it off that way, and I would like to make it, I'd like to set it at least 24 hours in advance. Know a couple of people that are interested in going on there, that like even in the title I might be able to say, join Gray Cloud and self-destruct, or so-and-so, whoever that may be in the comic book community. And then also kind of have a link, so might maybe share the link in a DM group that I'm part of, so anybody could just pop in if they want to, if we're doing that. Like kind of a official stream to celebrate over 100 subscribers, but also kick off streaming on that channel. Now, of course, if I do that, I will stream to both channels. It's been mentioned to me that I should do that anyway. I've just been waiting for the right time. Like moving forward, once I do an official stream on Gray Cloud's Thoughts on that channel, that'll be the main stream. But I'll throw it over to this channel, and then anybody that might be watching from this channel that isn't subscribed to my second channel, I can ask them to come over and subscribe and all that kind of stuff and try to. But what I'm going to try to do is set up an official stream for that channel that will be, at least we'll start off talking about some kind of media or pop culture stuff. Generally, like comic books or whatever. For me, so I'm thinking, a couple of people that I know that have been on there with me, or I've been on their show, and we can have like some kind of idea what we want to, there might be some drama going on that we might discuss then for a minute, just some funny bullshit that really it's just fun to talk about. Or we might even talk about a certain project that happens to come out right then or whatever, or has just came out within the past few weeks, whatever, either came out or is being funded right now. And of course, I've always got like stuff within reach, or like it won't take me but a second to grab a couple of comic books and show them off. If I, Self-Destruct is real good about that too. Like he's usually got something within reach. Like when he comes on, like he's usually able to pull up stuff, or even like physical copies within his grasp to like, hey, check this out, show off different art and stuff, So let's see. I guess the important thing is now earlier the stream, I talked a lot about I was talking about the different things I've been doing the past few days, like where I was talking about, like I'm still kind of like, for myself, I'm reading out of Jesus Calling, Jesus Always. I'm reading out of Living a Life of Awareness. Today I opened up and did some more Fifth Agreement reading, even though I've had the Fifth Agreement quite a few times, read it a bunch. But just reading something a bunch doesn't mean that you necessarily have it sinking in. It has soaked in, but if you're not practicing it and like consciously being aware of it, like on the forefront, sometimes it's easy to like put some things to the side. It's just like any good habit or bad habit, the more you're doing something and implementing something, the more likely you are to do better at it. Even bad habits, sometimes the more bad habit you keep doing, you get good at it, and it's not a good thing necessarily. For instance, though, oh crap, I just missed the, where is it? Uh, uh, oh, I had it marked. Oh, this morning I read to myself. I'm trying to squint. I'm squinting a little bit. I'm on a phone. I'm just making sure that I haven't had somebody pop up, because sometimes I've been on here and someone will uh, they'll use the link, and if I get to talking or some, if I'm already on here with somebody and we're both like kind of bouncing off each other, there's been some times that I've like just went a few minutes before I noticed that somebody was in the back, like waiting for me to pull them up and share the screen. So I'm just kind of being aware that the longer I'm on here, there could be at some point, if someone sees it. See habits. Sometimes we have habits or practices that cause us pain, yet we continue to do them. This is because that same action also brings us comfort in some way. Being honest with ourselves in this regard is key to knowing whether or not we really want to change them. When we look deeply and honestly at habits we can't seem to let go of, one of two things will occur. Either we'll see how this habit is not benefiting us at the deepest levels, and we will be able to change that habit much more easily. Or we may find that we are only trying to stop a habit or practice because we have been domesticated into thinking it's really bad. But that for ourselves, we don't really feel that way. In this case, our agreement is renewed and our habit becomes a better word, a practice. In either case, awareness in the moment is key. That's pretty, I really enjoyed that particular. It was from Living a Life of Awareness. Uh, that's why I kind of led into it just there. Like I didn't intentionally lead into it, but I was talking about just my day and the things that have been going on, and then habits in general. And it made me think about the title of this particular reading that I'm doing, or what that I read this morning. So like I found this particular reading and read it. Uh, I thought about sharing it, and I just didn't share it. Like in the video this morning that I did make, I share both a little bit of Fifth Agreement, and then towards the end, I shared Jesus Gone. But I'm kind of enjoying that things have shifted up a little bit, and that like just the way that I'm being shown to approach uh, doing videos again and stuff is it's kind of giving it kind of a new, fresh perspective for myself, and keeping something fresh makes it more enjoyable to do, and then like it keeps it, because like if things get too stagnant or I feel like I'm really not achieving much, sometimes it's easy to get discouraged and not want to do it. And it's like sometimes you just got to make yourself keep doing it. It's like my goal here ain't like to be rich or famous from that like perspective, but just to reach people that I can reach, and the people that somewhat connect and understand. That's what's important. Uh, Sometimes we can't all like be able to be connected like we want to be, but maybe here and there, a few people may tune in and be like, that dude, is sincere. Like I don't, I think he's, at least trying, whatever. Uh, like if someone watches any length of time of whether it be my videos or in a live stream, hopefully someone catches a glimpse of like, something sincere and not like trying to just like I'm not putting on a show. Like Gray Cloud is not a character, it's not like it's not a character in a play that I'm trying to like perfect and perform for somebody. Practice to put practice into this reading today. With awareness of how we really feel about a particular habit, we regain something very important. our ability to make a choice, to say yes or no all over again. Having unconditional love for yourself is the key to knowing what is really true for you. Yeah, I'd say so. Having unconditional love for yourself. Yeah, we can go as far as to say God can love me all day long, but if I'm not loving myself, then I'm kind of still out. You know what I'm saying? Like I've had that feeling before, like I've gotten to a point where I don't doubt certain things and the Creator and stuff, but yet I doubt myself. And sometimes I'll hear that still small voice say, "Well, Gray Cloud, if you believe in yourself just half as much as you've believed in whatever the heck you've believed in this far, then you'd be a lot further. Like you could have." So, and that's just things that have to remind you. Like for me, at 51 Earth years old, I still like I think it's only going to be natural that every once in a while a person gets a little discouraged. Still, like, oh well. Like if I think about it, I probably would have liked to have done a lot more than I've done in my life as far as like accomplishments or what I think is accomplishments. But then sometimes things have to put me in perspective and realize that maybe my accomplishment is exactly what it is. This life you see in front of you. Maybe that is the accomplishment. This moment. Right fucking now. Like nothing else. That's all it is, and that's all there will be. And maybe that's the beauty of it. Taking time to breathe and to see that there is something to live for. Taking the time to appreciate the day you're given or that you're in, instead of constantly thinking I have to chase tomorrow or fix something or unfix something, It's kind of one of them things. That was a pretty good one, though. That was some good. I'm trying to figure out why my damn. Every about 5 minutes, my screen keeps wanting to go dark on me, and I mean, I don't know why. I think it's because technically on this restream, I'm through the browser, so I don't know. Usually, if I got the screen on, unless I've set the time and like I had it set where like it shouldn't. Anyway, it's not a big deal, but it could interfere if I let it go dark. Then I'll have to open my phone up and tap in my code and get back into the so people so I can see what I'm doing. Anyway, so guys, if you just tuned in, you just kind of missed me in a little bit of a good moment. I think I got a little teary eyed, but it was like all good stuff, very joyful. Because I guess I was realizing something that this is what I have and this is the way it should be. There's the more that I keep thinking about what can be or could be or was or nothing, then I'm losing focus of what the hell is here. And what's right here in front of me is a camera and a phone, and I'm on a stream. It's pretty simple, ain't it? I think maybe that's maybe that's what it is that when you're looking for that might be the magic in the bottle, like I've mentioned over the past few days, the possibility of dropping the whole sage of the eternal moment, and then all of a sudden we have a day like this, and that all of a sudden is like, well, maybe the beauty of it, right, God, is because this is it. This is your accomplishment, and accept it. Accept your accomplishment, and take authority over it, and go with it. Sharing each moment Like when I'm doing a live stream, that's the moment to be totally in tune and in gear. And people can see, like, maybe catch a real moment of like someone having a blissful moment without like any kind of like, yeah, I've hit a bowl a couple of times, but like I'm not high on like anything as far as like I'm not tripping on anything. I'm not drunk. I'm pretty sober minded. I've only hit the bowl a couple of times, so it's like um, I've just had a lot of good energy lately, and I'm finding that it's nice to share it when I can. Especially, I don't know if there's another friend that I know that watches the channel. Not sure if she's listening right now. She could be, but I'm not going to say names or anything. But I do know she's been going through her own little things and some dark nights of the soul type stuff. And so, even if she's not listening or tuning in right now, in case she happens to watch this later, this long into the video after it's been, uploaded, she should know who she is if she gets this far in the live stream and hears me. So I'm just kind of putting some good energy into even though nobody knows exactly, like without saying any name or calling out anybody, just letting that be known and that energy be putting forth out into the atmosphere, that there's somebody from the community that watches the channel and is a friend that could use a boost in morale, and let them know, if it ain't nothing but just someone just sending your own little positive thing out there into the universe. Like some people are not as some people, don't want everybody knowing like their personal, like just because they're going through something, they might share it with me in a private note. Doesn't mean that they want everybody knowing right off. Now, like if someone comes into, you know what I mean? If you come in to the live stream into the chat and start sharing that you're having a good or bad day, that's different. But like I'm trying to remember that I don't need to like, it's the same with like you and me, like, even though I might talk to you outside of YouTube, I'm not going to get on here and be like talking about anything that we might privately talk about that wasn't necessary to discuss here, Especially if it has anything to do with someone else, like if it's someone else's business and they're sharing it and talking to me about it, then that's as far as it should go. Same if I share something that's not like, if I'm sharing it here on a damn stream, it's different. Like I'm kind of a public figure right now. But or if I share it in a video, but if I share it in confidence, but usually there's nothing that I'm going to probably be sharing privately that I want at some point at least address publicly. Like there's some things I might not. My head is weird. I feel like I'm trying to get. Huh. Like I feel like I'm cockeyed, or like I'm kind of like in a slant there. I just noticed that. I'm not meaning to be, but I think I'm trying to adjust the way the camera is looking. I'm trying to adjust yeah. See, if I pay attention to that, it'll mess things up for me. Just let it rip, like I've been doing. Oh, this time around, it's kind of weird because like it's been 33 minutes and it feels like I feel like I've already been streaming for an hour. But I'm getting a little anxious, I guess. I think what I'm about to do is I just had a thought. I might take might put my hat on. I'm here in just a second. I might put flip the camera around and we might walk outside for a minute. Let me go use the bathroom real quick and then stay right there. But I might just, for something a little different while we're seeing if anybody else shows up, or if nobody joins me here in a little bit, then I'll just call it another stream, by myself and wrap it up here in 30 minutes or so. But I'll be right back. Uh, uh, oh God. Yeah, I figure I'd be something different. And I appreciate whoever's been watching. I know I had a few people. Like it just depending on who showed up. It's kind of going to depend on how I navigate the whole like kind of the stream. You know, like if for instance, if Self Destruct or Dr. Ben or somebody from the comic book community had joined me early on, then that's probably where we would take the main bulk of the conversation. Would be what anybody might be currently into or comic book wise, or what might be being talked about and snickered about in the damn drama part of it, which happens. But you know, when you like, I'm just trying to keep things kind of flowing accordingly, and I figure I have people that watch the channel that uh there's a I meant to break that spider web right there. Sorry about that, buddy. I want to get through there for a minute. I ain't came back here in a little while. It was wet right there for a minute. Okay. Yeah, what are we saying here? Living in the present moment, searching the truth, improving yourself and finding your purpose. Yeah, that sums it up kind of. That's what's going on. You're getting what I'm saying. Um but like I was saying too that uh turn this around for a minute instead of just looking at that. You might still be looking at me, but you can see a little bit difference. I'm outside and stuff. Makes, of course, I don't have it on a stand, which is annoying. I could have, but I mean, I probably ain't gonna sit out here for real long. I just kind of, huh? Well, there's a watermelon that I didn't throw out here. Probably a dog pulled it up somehow or something. I don't know. Yeah, my arms are aching a little bit. I took it out of the sling because I just kind of was. I'd had it in the sling for the whole time we've been since I started here. I'm really hoping that Swillbilly is okay, or that he don't think that I done mentioned that. I don't want to like beat a dead horse, but earlier Swillbilly was in the chat in the stream I did earlier, and it was discussed. Maybe I thought I gave them the proper email. They said what I should have done before I ended the stream was gone and checked to see if the email was there. And then again, he might have thought that I was acting weird, like that he spoke to me, but it was just when he asked how would I go about streaming with you, I paused and froze up for a minute because I was trying to think what I wanted to do. I was trying to think, did I want to continue that stream on right then and possibly go ahead and have someone come on right then and just keep on streaming? Or was I going to end it and give him an email and then communicate that way first through email, then give them the direct way and then set up like whatever day or time they want to, be like, hey man, I guess if you want to stream, we'll do it. But I already said this. Something is there'd been something, either he thought he sent an email and it didn't get sent, or the information I put in the chat was wrong or something. So I'm just kind of I went over to his channel Um, as far as YouTube, like he does stuff, but it's very little. But I went over there on the most current video and commented and said that I was waiting, like I didn't know what happened. Like if he sent me something, so that hopefully he sees that at some point and then can respond. Um, because he's a cool dude. He's a cool cat. He's came in the chats plenty of times. He's been in the chat like when there's been other people here, like on screen with me and stuff. So it's been pretty cool. Um, and like I understand too that like when I think of myself as someone trying to explain to me well, they reminded me that Ethan Van Skyler often talks about doing streaming. Doing a stream is kind of like, think of it like doing radio. So like if you're doing like a talkative type stream, you want to like think about, like periods of downtime, or you want to be able to navigate a good conversation, even if it's just by yourself. Like even if I just start like I do and don't have a particular set topic, I may have some general idea of different things going on in my brain, and it's usually in a deep sense where like I may at some point start talking about just life events and experience. But even I still try to like figure out somewhere during that time where to take from one possibility of a subject to another, like because I realize there's the channel I have here, there's like kind of like just like I am very like eccentric or eclectic, like I have a lot of different tastes and stuff. There are a lot of people that watch the channel. Some people watch it for one reason and some watch it for another. Some people watch it for the more like the Jesus Calling videos. Some people just watch the shorts. Some people see the videos, but mainly come to the lives. And so it's kind of like I try to remember all that at any given time, especially if I'm doing a live stream. Do you know how to set up and use a three? I don't know what that is. Is that a tool that you would use to hold? Like I'm just holding it in my hand right now. I could bring my little stand thing out here and put it on that and it not be. But I know probably vaguely what you're talking about, Emil. But like as far as like specifically coming to my mind, I don't know. Are you talking about something that would connect to your body and then like I'm not sure. Like I know there's things like that where like it keeps everything in balance. So like when I'm walking now, unless you're talking about an app or something like that, I don't know if there's that kind of stuff possible. That'd be interesting to know though. I was it'd be definitely interesting to know or figure out because I've been thinking about at some point I would like to try to do like some little short streams where when I'm just taking a walk. Like I might not be able to interact with the chat and stuff, but like it'd be interesting to just start a stream right as I'm walking through the yard and going to the road, and then going to cut up the side road and walk my little however far I choose to walk or whatever. I thought it'd be cool. Some people might be interested, even if it's just for 10 or 15 minutes, and it's just you just see me walking down the road, and you might want to you just chime in and say something. But like sometimes I might just walk if I could get it set up, but that would be the thing. It'd be shaky if I'm holding it in my hand. So whatever it is you're talking about, if I was wanting to do something like that, that'd be pretty interesting to be able to do. Like if I could have to walk with it and it be kind of steady, it would be kind of cool to do some streams occasionally. Just me walking on the side roads there. I think some people would probably like that. It'd probably be kind of interesting. even though it's kind of the same shit every day. I don't ever go too much further out of off of course unless I'm walking into town or something, and like then I'd want my attention to be on the road more so than holding the phone or trying to do a stream. If I was walking all the way like to Eider or Henninger. I suppose, um, like if my arm wasn't cut, even though like it seems like my arm's doing better, trust me, it's still aching and hurting some. And like I said, it's kind of fluctuating. I haven't since it's been almost. I'm trying to remember the last time that I acted. I remember that day specifically. I drew some stuff that day. I wrote that day, and I think I even played that little drum kit a little bit that day. And I remember at the end of that day, the arm definitely feeling it. And at some point, I remember using a pen and being able to tell it was going to affect how much I could write or draw. And so, really, ever since every day that was, I haven't really tried to do much of anything like that. I've just either had the arm in a sling or like resting on my lap and trying to not pick hardly anything up with it and stuff until I can make it to Tuesday, hopefully, and be at that. I'm gonna get back up. We'll go in. Since I don't have it on a stand and stuff, I figure I'll go in and we'll see where I'm at on this. Gosh darn it. God dang it. Yeah, I don't know where this came from, but it wasn't mine because the watermelon I had was the one I had was a few weeks ago. It done be rotted if it was out here. Oh, okay. Pretty sunny out. It ain't too bad, but like if I was trying to do a stream and walk, I definitely probably would want to know how to do whatever you're talking about, or have some kind of device that makes it, you know what I mean? Make it more stable. Whew. It's warm. Just getting up to come in here was kind of a little bit of a chore. Okay. Oh, I wished I wouldn't get so anxious sometimes. Like, whew. Whew. I smell it. I've been wiping my sweat off for a few days with this towel, so it's probably gonna have a little bit of a smell. Because like I've been trying to like keep myself intentionally. Like today, I have not took a break yet. Like the past several days, what I've done is get up, do a walk. Then like yesterday, I did a stream. Then I went and walked again. Then I did quite a bit of different. Like I would read like a comic book. Then I took a break, cook something, eat, maybe read a little bit more. There's different things I was trying to keep. Like if I did lay down for any length of time, like if I laid down, it was after I got a certain amount of things done and felt like, okay, I need to rest. And today so far, it's been like pretty good. And I haven't felt like I need. Now, like if I was, if I end the stream, then at some point there might be a potential like idea of like, well, it might be take a little break and just lay down for a minute. Not lay down to go to sleep, but just rest the body. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I just saw that. Yeah, I'm personally. I'll send you. I had to. I'll like copy it or whatever and send it to you when we'll talk about it in a little bit. So you are talking about something that it would be like a tool for a phone or for a camera, and then that particular tool also has apps that could be utilized with it. Like for instance, whatever it is you're talking about, I got you. I'm using just like an Android, but it's a Motorola specifically. But to like know the exact if it would work with the exact model is the main thing. So I'd have to get that information. Like I'll go into about phone and figure that shit out. I appreciate it though. So now I'm got a kind of an idea of what you're talking about. Like I know that there's things like that, but like to know the specific name of whatever it is you're specifically talking about, I probably have no clue unless I just happen to have seen it or like in a video and someone discussing it, possibly, like in their creations or something. Yeah. Oh. Oh. Yeah, there's something going on that I feel like I'm like, I think it's because, I think what it is because I've got it turned, like I've made it this way. So, like, if I had it vertical, I wouldn't feel off center, I don't think. But I like for more of the screen to be, especially if someone comes on with me, I think it makes their screen even more bigger or like a larger portion. So, okay, guys, for some reason, I get every once in a while, I start thinking maybe I'm need to shift up here, need to think of something to move into talk wise, but I'm just kind of like, I know I'm not being called on to necessarily entertain. Some people just watch me because they like what I talk about, or they just like how things are casual. Yeah, I got you. I figured I'd probably touch base with you over sometime over this weekend, either today, tomorrow, whenever. Be honest with you, Emil. Every day this week, I have had intentions of not just you, but just several people that I've had intentions of talking to and just haven't got around to it yet. Like, I'm not laughing because it's like you know what I mean? It's like no ill intent. It's just like my days have been going so well that like I'm just kind of like I'll have the intention start off the day. I'm like, I'm gonna try to maybe sometime today I'll try to call so and so. And then like sometime during the day, like at some point I'll be like, I'll just maybe not today. I'll just wait, or because I get to doing whatever. Because I've had a lot of stuff going on in the brain that it'd be nice to touch base with a couple you and there's a couple other people. There is somebody that we tried to. There's a couple of times I tried to communicate with this week, but we've both been kind of off. Sometimes the connection ain't been made right. And I've just let them know, it's no big deal. It's like, I figure when it's time, we'll make that connection. I want to try to make sure that I am there for people, though, sometimes because there's people that have been there for me, not just, but through the few years that I've been doing this channel, there's been several people like you, for instance, and some other people that have reached out to me, and in private we've communicated, and then we've become like connected, like on a deeper level. So same with Ghosty, now I didn't directly send her a message and say, hey, do you want to come on today? I didn't I kind of did everything indirectly because I figured I wanted to just like let something just happen. If it happens, if someone comes on, if they see the link, they see the link and they come on. If they don't, they don't. And that would be if you're on X and she's on X. So, but it is Friday also. There's some people like there might be people working or even doing their own, like some people might be making content for their channel. Some friends of mine might even be doing a stream or getting ready to do a stream here in a little bit. There's several people I watch or am subscribed to that I'm friends with also that stream almost every day, you know, at certain times, like a lot of times. Several guys stream in the afternoon. Like sometimes I don't always say shit in there. It's kind of like you call it lurking. Sometimes I'm not always actively saying something to them in their chat, but I'll spend a few minutes. Like I will go in, I'll hit the like button for them. I'll see who's in the chat, and I'll see what they're talking about for a minute. Like especially the comic book guys and stuff different. Like Devil Flyer, his channel, I tune into his stream probably more than he knows that I do, just because I don't, because sometimes if I'm not like gonna be able to watch for a while, if I'm just gonna be able to, like if I can just stop in, try to give it a little bit of boost in the algorithm, like watch it for 10-15 minutes if I can, see what they're talking about. It just depends on what time of day. Like theirs is at 4 o'clock usually every day, so but a lot of times around 4 o'clock I'm kind of like on another walk or doing something, I tell you though, if someone's having something come up and it's like they're going to have like a specific special person on or something, I do try to make an attempt to at least stop in on those and make myself known and let them know that I'm there watching for a little while. I think most people, anybody that probably does YouTube, even if they're not like a professional at it, I'm not professional, of course. I think anybody that probably does YouTube or any kind of streaming, whether it be YouTube or not, like Swillbilly even, he said he does his stream is 24/7 on Twitch. So like he's not always on there. He said like, but there's always a camera on or like it's always active. So people can go into this stream at any time of day, whether he's actually actively on there or not, and be in this chat and stuff. And I thought that was pretty cool. Of course, I don't use Twitch, so I don't know. Like he might be pretty big over there. I don't know. I'm assuming that if you were doing something like a 24/7 stream, I'm going to assume that you probably have enough people that at some point you're already monetized, or maybe he's trying to get to that point. I don't know. If he's already monetized, then that would explain why I'm setting up something 24/7. If you've got a big enough audience, where that any time of day people are just interested in what the hell might be on your stream, you're going to probably generate more income from it being 24/7. So I personally don't know. Like now, if I had like something like a good setup, and I had a computer and a setup and like several cameras, where like it, I could see myself sometimes doing streams that are like Ghosty does, where I have a camera outside somewhere, like out back maybe, and maybe I'm not on the stream, but I'm just like letting it stream and let people just see what, hear the birds and see where I sit and all the stuff growing up or whatever. I'm still not understanding why this is doing this. Hold on a minute. This is fucking stupid. Okay, hold on. Hopefully this keeps it on. I just went in and adjusted my settings, but I don't know if it's going to work while I'm going through the. See, I might need to create an actual. See, I just connect my Google account to my Restream, so I don't actually have a Restream app or anything like that. Most of the time, I'll tune into a live stream, but I'm listening to it in the background while I'm doing some work. Yeah, like that's what a lot of people do. Sometimes. I was talking about that earlier. That's when Swillbilly was on earlier with me in the chat. We were talking about that. I was saying like somebody from his stream that was in my chat said that people sometimes just want something in their background. And yeah, like if it's somebody they like and they're supporting it anyway, like you don't have to like I'm not doing anything on camera that needs to be like addressed and seen. Like it's all just talk anyway. It'd be like so like what Ethan when Ben was saying and so self-destruct reminded me, and I think Ben even, but that Ethan had Skyver always relates doing streams to being like on the radio. Like think of it as talk radio, or even just radio in general. Like you're a DJ, you want it to sound good. You're mindful there is an audience. You know what I mean? Like even if it's just a handful of people, there once you have like a certain amount of people that are interested in whatever it is you might be streaming about, then you know you try to address it. Or I'm trying to be mindful that even though I'm not trying to be here to be entertaining, I want it to be entertaining, you know? And so like if I want to be able to, I hope that any of the subject matter that I might bring up or that someone else may bring to the table, either through a chat or on screen when they're on here with me, that it's subject matter that people that do like the channel are interested in enough to be, you know, interested in watching, and maybe even get somebody to thinking sometimes, you know, a little bit. Even if we're just talking about comic books, sometimes you can be talking about comic books, but there's a lot of comic books that deal with a lot of different subject matter too. So, you know, depending on what we might be talking about, they might end up bringing up other things that don't just involve comics and pop media. But that's, you know, neither here or there. I appreciate that you've been tuning in and stuff. Yeah, here in a little while, depending on, we'll try to, like, I don't know why, like, I get hemmed up sometimes. Like I said, this entire week, I have had the intention of maybe, of course, I've texted a few people. Like, you know, I've been in text. But I mean, there've been a few times throughout the week that I've intentionally started the day off with that in mind. That at some point that day, I wanted to maybe try to reach out, and it is just then by a certain point in the day, I just become like it shifts from, okay, well, I guess I'm not going to do that today, or if I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. Like it's not like it's gonna make the day go any worse or bad, or I mean. It's just I'm mindful of it. If I've been thinking about it, at some point I make myself at least take a day to do that. You know, like it might be tomorrow, like Saturday, I might intentionally, throughout a few hours' time, do several interval calls and stuff to people, you know. Which I think is funny to me sometimes, because there's been large portions of my time that I've spent here wishing I had somebody to hang out with, wishing there was somebody to talk to, or wishing this and that and that. And like I said, I've shifted focus from, there's no more of that going on now. And it's been kind of like the past week, a lot of it's been happening where, like I said, I'm reawakening to the fact that there is something to be striving for. There is something, even if that's just me being by myself during the day and just experiencing each little moment, and not recording it all, and not taking a picture of every single walk I take or whatever. Because sometimes I'm doing that. I'm just taking a walk and I'm not filming anything. And that's kind of fun. Now, see, this thing still is not working right. Hold on a minute. I don't know what's going on with this and why it's this way, but I'm really not sure what's going on there. It might be because I've been through somehow it's not registering that I'm on the fucking, it's like I either got to be touching the phone or something. Every 5 minutes it's wanting to the screen is wanting to completely go black on me and lock down. I went in and set it where it was supposed to be adaptive. Like it was, if as long as I'm looking at the camera or looking at the screen, I thought it, but I guess it might not be reading me right now looking at it. So I changed it to hopefully it won't dim out for 30 minutes. Like it, I got it to where it shouldn't shut off for me for 30 minutes if like I walk away from the phone and shit. That's kind of annoying. And that could be a little bit of a sign too that it's getting close. You know, that maybe that's something telling me to round things off here pretty soon, because I do. At the same time, I'm doing things where I'm like really not too focused on how many people are watching. It's been a pretty good stream again. I feel like though there've been several people watching, and then you've been here interacting with me, and I feel like I've covered quite a bit of ground here too. You know, like I covered some of the similar things from earlier, but I also covered a little bit of other stuff. Oh, I did share that living a life of awareness. I thought that was worth sharing, at least in the stream, whether it's in a video or not. It's still so early in the day too. It's like I'm kind of almost don't know what to do with myself. That's where I'm also at. Like, there was times, you know, between last year and this year. There's been times that I've literally streamed 3 times that day. You know, like maybe did one early, did one midday, and then for whatever reason, still have some kind of gusto of an energy that evening. Here lately, my energy level has been pretty low in the evenings, like because I've been starting off pretty hard at it. You know, like I get up, walk. Like the past 3 days, I've done a walk before 8 o'clock in the morning. You know, and then probably came back and at least uploaded a couple of shorts or something, or put some thought into what I do want to do as a video. And then like yesterday, I streamed. Today, I've streamed. Then you know, I've already took 2 walks today. I might take a third one today. It wouldn't hurt me at all. Not right this particular moment. I can see that it would be like even earlier when I went. By the time I came back, especially when you have your arm in a sling, man, that thing's all sweaty and nasty. By the time I get back, it feels gross. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's like at first I have my charger in. I didn't have the charger in, but I figured it would just still stay bright with the charger in it, but that ain't got nothing to do with it. It's fully charged and everything. It wasn't about the charge. I just thought that maybe that would keep it activated. Something's going on. I think what it is I think it's because I'm using Restream. Like I said, I'm just like when I go into Restream, it just says, you know, I can either create an actual account or I just connect my Google account. And that's what a lot of people, like from what I understand, people that I know that use StreamYard do the same thing. That's how I always use StreamYard too. I don't create a whole StreamYard account if I'm not paying for it and all that. I just connect it with Google and go in there. Same with Restream. I think I've had this problem before. I think at some point it's just the way that the phone is reading things. Like so, Restream is actively using the camera, but I'm going through the browser on the phone app. So it could be that it's sensing that the phone's been, you know, because I have it on a stand. Maybe I think it's sensing that it's just been inactive for a while and wanting to shut down. I think I might have the problem fixed now for at least 30 minutes. But I thought there was a way to make it where you didn't even have a limit on it. Like you didn't have to worry about it shutting down. See, that shows you that I'm still pretty behind on some technology. Like I know how to use things, but like knowing how it works or why it works, I think a lot of us are that way. Oh, yeah, I'm kind of just shooting in the wind today. You know, it's like if I really wanted to have a guest, I could have Okay, I just seen the text. I seen that text. Oh, what I don't like is when I get like I said, I've got a lot of time where I don't. I mean, I could be doing anything, and of course, if I end the stream, uh, I know that earlier I said, well, if I don't sleep today, I'm not worried about it. No, I'm not worried about it, but like if I end the stream here in a little bit and everything, and I'm just sitting here doing much of nothing, like if I ain't reading or doing something kind of like that that's productive, then more than likely I'll grab my broom at some point and sweep some of this grass up and shit. But like, there's just like, how I'm just taking the day as it comes. That's why earlier I was like, if it happens, if I do this particular chore, then I do, and if I don't, I don't. I'm not like, because truthfully, I've already swept a couple of times before I ever streamed today. But it wasn't until I went for a couple of walks and came back in and shit, and then I'd turn around and be like, and then like earlier, the earlier one of the earlier walks, the first walk, I came back and then at some point I took off my shoes and socks and I went out there barefoot, and so things were still wet and damp, so I actually checked in some grass that way too. That just stuck to my feet. But like nobody wants to just hear about gray cloud all the time. It's like I'm trying to think of what else is there that's interesting that we could discuss. And then there's also times that you have to just realize maybe it is time to like start winding it down for a minute. Today's energy is to the point where I could, like, I don't know, like I said, I have been going, like the past 3 days, I'd say, I've been finding myself asleep before it's dark. Like, say, sometime between, about 5 o'clock, I'm laying around. I'm just like watching whatever. Like, I've been watching some stuff on Tubi and shit, but like just something entertaining or whatever. Trying to just veg out. And it seems like somewhere like by the time 7 o'clock rolls around, sometime between 7 and 8, I'm finding myself at some point being able to drift off and be asleep. And like I'll wake up like it'll maybe at 9 or 9:30, 10, somewhere like I don't sleep for a long period, but I fall asleep before it gets dark, and then I wake up and it's already been dark for a little while. So, and then what's been nice is that I get up and I'm up for just a brief moment. And it's been pretty relatively easy just to fall back asleep. Like if I want to stay up, I stay up and watch something for a minute or do whatever. And then I might just shut down and go back to sleep. But it's been easy to do that, where sometimes it's not. So when I'm able to sleep like that, I take it. And I'm not drinking to get to that kind of shit or nothing. It's like I'm actually sleeping. So, and of course, every day, like between 4 and 5 o'clock, I'm waking up. I wake up a couple times in the night, but I usually wake up a little bit right before dark or daylight, and then sometime during the act of daylight coming in, I'm up a couple of different times, and sometimes I might be conscious the entire time. And then around 7, at some point I get up and start just kind of like realizing I need to go ahead and do something. Because if I lay there too long, it becomes a problem. It becomes a mental setback, and it becomes a heavy burden on it feels like a weight on the chest. And it turns into like certain issues that are not even real, but my mind makes them real. If there's too much, at some point in the morning, if I realize I've been conscious for a couple of hours, it's time to get out of the bed and do some shit, even if it's the bare minimum. It could be more. Okay. See, I have an idea. Like I said, on the second channel, I guess I'm going to try to see who might want to be in. Like, And then again, setting something in stone, I think I hear sirens. You might hear them. There's the main road right out that way. See, that first one sounded like it almost turned off right up there. Sometimes that'll happen. Sometimes if there's an ambulance coming or something and it's turning on this side road, once it hits this side road, it'll turn the sirens off because it knows where it's going. But anyway, that's not what's happening. Those were on the main road, and it sounded like they were going towards Henniger Way. Oh, so, yeah, what I was going to say is for the second channel, like, I am going to try to set something, though. I think it'd be good to just set, like, okay, on this day, let's do a stream, whether it be in the morning, midday, or whatever. You can never time something just right. I mean, at whatever time of day it is, if you have a certain audience, either people are free or they're not, you know. And then like the second channel, I'm just going to try to do something official where like I have like at least another person that I definitely know comes up is going to come on with me. You know, I mentioned self-destruct, but like I don't know particularly who it would be. It could be a multiple. It could be 2 or 3 different people. But I like to at least know that when we're kicking off, there's someone from the pretty much the start of the stream. And like I said, we have we're discuss like we already know what that we're gonna at least open up with pretty much about comic books, our love for comics, maybe whatever might be going on in the scene that we follow, comic skate and shit like that. You know, they're just making it an official stream where this is mainly like we're going to kick it off. This is what we're going to talk about, and you know, see where it goes. But have like a few things I got before I get started. Like definitely have not just stuff sitting there because I just am behind, but actually have stuff laid out that I think would be interesting to like share or show anybody. But I'm always usually got something like that, so that'd be kind of. And I figure like anybody else that's going to be on there with me, ask them to do the same thing. Like if they just pull out a few things, and if there's someone that's a creator, you know, like or an artist, they can have their own. Like maybe they have like a portfolio of their own shit that they can share too. Um, it'd be nice if I could have the ability, like if I was on the laptop and stuff, you know, once I get around to doing all that, it'd be nice to be able to do some stuff in the moment. Like I don't always have to have all the links uh, ahead of time. Like here on the phone though, like if I'm gonna have somebody on with me, like if we do a second channel stream and it's about comics, I would like since if I set it up like 24 hours in advance, I want to like that'll give me enough time to go into the description and all that, like to go and copy anybody that's definitely saying, yeah, man, let's do it tomorrow, like whatever, like whoever that is, whether that was Ghosty, Destruct, somebody else, Ben, or anybody, Scab, somebody, you know, from the comic world, or even if they're not from the comic world, but whoever it is, have a link in the description. Like if I'm going to set it up a day ahead of time, have all their links, you know, be like, hey, join me on tomorrow for this stream. And then you can, like anybody that sees it can look in the description and be like, okay. And then maybe during the stream have somebody that's able to pull up some of the links and share them in the chat for me. You know what I'm saying? Like look it up. Like maybe they're on a device where they can do that, and we just continue to do whatever and talk. But like they're able to, like if it's somebody that's got a channel and they're streaming with me, like maybe they're able to pull up the link and share it over into the chat or something. You know, like promote them, like being like, hey, you know, if you don't know who this is, go check it out. I want to be mindful of that anytime that someone, even if it's just a fun little casual stream like I do. Hopefully at some point we'll have enough people You know, hopefully, I don't know. It is what it is. Today is all I got. So I'm not going to think about tomorrow. I can hope all I want, but what I have is today, this moment. In this moment. And whatever moment comes next after I end up deciding to stop and go about the rest of the day or however I'm going to go about it. I do want to read some comic books today. I am going to read some more. Like I've done, like this morning, I read some of this, I read some of that. Also, like I said, I read Jesus Always, Jesus Calling, some of Fifth Agreement, which I shared some of that stuff in the video. But I was thinking I hadn't read any comics today, but I did actually. I have been reading a little bit of Chainsaw Man Volume 3 today. So, like, ooh, I don't know if anybody else is like me, but I'll have like multiple different things. Like, for instance, you know, Dark Night of the Soul and The Undiscovered Self both going at once. The Fifth Agreement is stuff that I know and have digested quite a bit, but like I'm slowly going through it. And I'm also trying to share it some with the channel. But I'm like taking it really slow with Fifth Agreement. I might pick this up a couple of times a week, if not maybe once a week. But I at least give it some attention during the week. And it's like some things I can process and digest quickly, like entertainment-wise type stuff, you know, comic books and things. But I also like to be able to digest a comic. I like to be able to read it, especially if it's a good comic. I really want to appreciate it. So taking my time with it means a lot. And I'm also realizing the value in possibly here soon. I think once I get through a lot of these newer comics that I've got, like a lot of them are old comics, but like stuff that are new to me. Once I get all this kind of squared away, before I have a bunch of new stuff, like I will order some new things probably. There's a lot of stuff that I've had for the past couple, you know, like when I first got back into it, I've collected and I've accumulated a little bit. It's probably time for me to go back through and read a couple of books that I've had for a few years that I've just had put up now. And I didn't realize until a while back that could be a fun thing. That sometimes revisiting something, you know, I'm not talking about just finding nostalgic stuff like on eBay and ordering it, but like once I actually have it in hand and I've done read it and I know it's good, I realize there's several things and titles I have that I haven't read in a long time. I know the premise of, but sometimes you go back and you reread something and you find a new enjoyment out of it. Same with a good movie. Like anything that's worth it, good art and good reading and good stuff of whether it's visual or reading or like movies, whatever. If it's good, it's usually going to have some sort of like even if you haven't thought about it in years, when you revisit it, it's still going to have something. It'll tell you whether it passed the test or not. So I guess that's what I'm interested in, is if there anything that I think. Yeah, set it on the thing. I know, set it right there. Okay. And that was Colton again. He had came by earlier in the day when I was streaming, and I didn't know what he was trying to do, but he was going to ask me about fishing or something, which I don't have a fishing pole or nothing. There was nowhere we could have went fishing, but earlier I had to tell him I was busy because I was streaming, and I was like in the middle of a stream, and I didn't want to like get in the middle of talking with a kid and possibly, you know, like if I had started off the stream and we knew that Colton was here and it was a part of like if I was doing something fun for the day that could be kid friendly, then that would be different. But if I'm unprepared, I don't want to be. I mean, I'm not doing anything that, you know, but like I wouldn't want to have something out like this bow or whatever, and stuff like that. Like I'd want to make sure that I'm cordial if there's kids around. You know, like that's not always been the case in life, but sometimes you live and learn. Like there's been plenty of times in my life but usually like I'm more aware of how I'm acting around someone's kids than some people were aware of how they even were acting around their own kids. And that is some of the, like I don't want to get in all that, but like those were some of the weird times. Like when you're messed up, you're having a good time, but you're with somebody and they got kids, and then like you all of a sudden you realize that you're more aware of the situation than they are, and like you're like trying to make sure. Like a lot of times I'd be in a situation where I'd be concerned about making sure everything was kosher because like somebody, and that can be a crutch for some people. Like like if they think they can rely upon somebody to be the one to take care of everything when they get too messed up, meaning taking care, helping them with their kid or whatever. That's fine and dandy sometimes, but like sometimes you have to. It's not a fun situation to be in any kind of situation like that. No matter who it is, like anybody that's like, if you're around something and that's going on, and then you're having to find yourself trying to be the one that can keep things together for someone, like at some point, like it can't keep on going like that. You know what I'm saying? You can't be a crutch like that. Like you have to, like somebody has to, someone take initiative somehow. Even myself, sometimes I have to make myself take initiative in my own life. So, let alone somebody else trying like to even remotely get anybody else to take initiative in their lives. Like if I struggle having my own initiative, but you get what I mean, I think. So it hasn't done it again. I think it's because of the setting. I had it where it was like it was gonna if it thought the screen had been inactive for 5 minutes, it was gonna go dead. I've got it set for 30 minutes, so it still could do it after 30 minutes, but I'll probably go back in there and reset it. I don't know. I don't know why it's like that. I didn't think I had. But I think we've had a good stream. It's been me just like I was thinking someone might show up. I hope that Tank wasn't like turned off by too much or whatever. Like I really don't know what they might have thought was going to happen. Well, like I said, if said there's a handful of people that could show up at any time if I'm, even though I didn't directly share anything with them, if they had wanted to show up and they had the access, if they were to look at it, and but that wasn't even really like if I had intended that, then I would directly connect with somebody ahead of time. I'm just kind of bummed out about Swillbilly because I don't know what happened. I'm going to continue to, I think I'll go and try to comment on one of his videos again or something. I'm going to try to see if I can't make some sort of connection or find an email that I can send to him. Just I want to make sure that there is a connection there because like I have no problem with streaming with him, or it'd be actually entertaining. I think it'd be someone fun to have on. Just some of the way his humor is and the way he does videos, his little shorts and stuff. Some of it's dark and stuff, and like I have like a really wide different sense of humor. Like some of it, I can take humor from all things. If done in the right manner and if in the right mindset. Okay, well I'm going to end this because I don't know. It is like we were, right at an hour and a half. I'm in the stream, and I'm just going to kind of roll with the rest of the day and see what's going on. Like I said, I don't know, man. Something's telling me to keep my schedule open because I could possibly, even if it's not on my channel, I could see something maybe arising. Maybe someone else will open the doorway and be like, "Hey, dude, you want to come over and hang out on my channel?" I don't know. That could happen too. And I could get off here and at some point get the email that I was expecting today to connect with Swillbilly on the outside of YouTube so that we could set up something, ahead of time. But I think all that'll work out in due time, like synchronicity, like things just kind of like sometimes don't work out right when you think it should work out. but it still works out, and that's kind of how life is. So until next time, you guys have a good rest of your day. And if you do happen to see me later, you know, if something comes up and I'm going to do something on my channel, I'll let people know. If somebody just invites me on, I might not have enough time to let anybody know, but I'm going to try to share it if I have the opportunity to pop in on somebody else too. So either way, I'll keep people informed. Y'all have a good day, and I'll try to get with you too, Emil, here in a little bit. Talk to you later. I just seen that you text earlier. Y'all have a good day. Ditto.